Hello and welcome to Financial Intelligence. In this video, I want to talk about the recent labor shortage in the US. According to the most recent data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, more than 9.5 million Americans are unemployed and are supposedly looking for work in June of 2021. At the same time, job openings in the US hit 9.2 million in new record high. The irony is that employers are ready and willing to hire, but they are having trouble finding workers ready and able to fill the jobs. In the first part of this video, I'm going to discuss the official narrative as to why there is a large shortage and show you why it is false. In the second part of this video, I'm going to share with you the data that shows job seekers don't want to work because they are making too much money on extended unemployment benefits. And in the third part of this video, I'm going to present my take on the labor shortage issue. If you like the type of content that I provide, subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumbs up, and also hit the notification bell so that you won't miss any of my future videos. Part 1. Official explanation for labor shortage. One plausible explanation offered by the officials and politicians is that workers remain frightened to return to their workplaces. It is said that labor shortage is prevalent in industries where encountering the unvaccinated customers on the job is more likely. In other words, this argument states that unemployed folks are concerned about getting infected with COVID-19, and therefore many workers are reluctant to apply for jobs. However, this official explanation cannot be true because of a simple reason. If you look at the quit rates published by the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, you will notice that many more people are quitting their jobs now than when the pandemic was in its early stages. For example, the quit rate was 2.8% in April of 2021, which was the highest in 20 years. In fact, the quit rate had been on a steady rise during the previous 3 months, from 2.3% in January of 2021. I will add the link to the US Bureau of Statistics website in the description box below so that you can check this data out for yourself. Part 2. Real reason for labor shortage. In response to the coronavirus pandemic, Congress passed a series of relief bills that provided recipients of state unemployment an additional $600 in weekly benefits on top of what they were receiving from their state. This $600 per week in additional unemployment payments was later reduced to $300 and is currently set to end on September 6 of 2021. The real reason driving the labor shortage is the fact that unemployed individuals are earning more money by receiving the unemployment benefits than they would be if they were gainfully employed. A University of Chicago study found that 68% of unemployed workers who can receive benefits are eligible for payments that are greater than their lost earnings. This means that more than half of the unemployed people can make more money by being unemployed rather than being employed at their previous jobs. It cannot be an easy choice to take a job you wouldn't enjoy if you can get paid more to stay out of work. Nearly half the states, all led by Republican governors, have ended the supplement early in the belief that it was discouraging people from looking for work. Part 3. My take on labor shortage issue. People who are receiving these benefits are most certainly happy about this arrangement. There are also many people who support these policies, thinking that the government is helping the poor and disadvantaged people during the pandemic. However, there is no free lunch in economics. To most uneducated people, the government is a faceless entity that has an infinite amount of money and can afford spending it any way it wants. In reality, the government has no real income or financial resources to fund these types of expensive, inefficient programs. In fact, the government was spending more than it was making before the pandemic. The situation is way worse now. Let's be clear that somebody has to pay for these programs. Politicians and their wealthy friends are not the ones who are going to shoulder the burden. There are a couple of ways that the government can pay for these programs. I'm going to list them here. Solution number 1, print more money. The government is going to finance these programs by printing more money, which eventually is going to result in high inflation. The wealthy are not going to be impacted as much because they will enjoy their assets values such as stocks and real estate appreciating as a result. On the other hand, the middle class is going to be squeezed more and more to pay for the cost of these programs. Solution number 2, pass it on to next generations. The government is going to finance these programs by investing less in other essential programs such as education and infrastructure. Therefore, effectively passing on the costs from the present generation to future generations. This will mean that people today will enjoy higher government spending that is partially paid for by reducing the standard of living of taxpayers who have not even born. Solution number 3, increase taxes on employed workers. The government is going to raise the US federal and state combined tax rate to pay for the cost of these programs. Note that the US federal tax mostly impacts the middle class families because the wealthy earn most of their income through ways that are exempt from the US federal tax laws. I highly doubt that the government would touch the capital gain taxes because that would mean that the wealthy individuals would have to pay higher taxes. In summary, I believe that the labor shortage is caused by the excessive amount of unemployment benefits, and the middle class families are going to pay for the cost of these programs one way or the other. The way the government is going to pay for these programs is going to be a combination of these 3 solutions that I shared with you. I hope that you like this video. If you have any recommendation or suggestion, add them in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and also hit the notification bell so that you won't miss any of my future videos. Thank you and take care.